Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into a really powerful idea, one that's been talked about for ages: manifestation. You know, the concept that you can actually shape your life, pull in your desires, and, well, create the reality you've always dreamed of. So, let's get into how it all works.
But first, let me ask you this. Do you ever get that feeling that you're just on the verge of something big? Like you know you're capable of so much more, but there's this invisible wall or something holding you back? If you're nodding right now, then you are absolutely in the right place.
The whole idea we're going to explore today is actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly profound. The power to change your outer world, well, it starts in your inner world. It all begins with your thoughts. And our guide for this entire journey is Kanav Sachdev's amazing book, Manifestation. Every key insight we're covering comes straight from his work.
So what's the plan? Here's the roadmap for our explainer. First, we're going to unpack what it even means to shape your own reality. Then, we'll get into the real engine of it all, the power of your mindset. After that, we'll open up a super practical manifestation toolkit, talk about putting it all into action, and finally, look at why this is really a lifelong journey. So let's jump right in. All right, let's start at square one. What are we really talking about when we say the word manifestation? At its core, manifestation is all about turning what you want into what you have. Now, the book makes a really critical point here. This isn't some kind of magic spell. It's all about alignment. It's the process of getting your thoughts, your deep down beliefs, and your everyday actions all pointed in the exact same direction, right at the thing you want to create.
And check out this quote from Kanav Sachdev's book, because it just hits the nail on the head. He says our thoughts and beliefs act like magnets. They're constantly sending out a signal, a vibe that attracts experiences, people, and opportunities that are on that same frequency. Basically, whatever you're focused on inside is what you start pulling towards you on the outside. And that whole magnet idea leads us straight to the powerhouse of manifestation, your mindset. You can think of it like this. If your thoughts are the individual magnets, your mindset is what controls how strong they are and which way they are pointed. So this slide really lays out a fundamental choice that we all have to make. On one side, you've got this scarcity mentality, this nagging feeling that there's just never enough to go around. It's focused on lack. But on the other side, you have an abundance mindset, which is about seeing the world as full of possibility. According to the book, making that conscious shift from scarcity to abundance, that's the first and honestly the most important step in this whole process.
Okay, so if it's all about mindset, why isn't everybody just manifesting their dream life? Well, Kanav Sachdev points to one major obstacle: our limiting beliefs. These are those sneaky, subconscious stories we tell ourselves. You know, things like, I'm not good enough for that, or I'll never be able to afford that. They're like invisible walls that can sabotage our best efforts before we even get started. But here's the good news. You can absolutely drag those beliefs out into the light. The book suggests some really powerful practices, like journaling, just to get those fears and doubts out of your head and onto paper. From there, you can start to reflect and really question them. Is this belief actually true? Where did I even get it from? The moment you start asking those questions is the moment you start taking your power back.
Okay, so once you start working on that mindset, it's time to get your hands dirty. Let's open up the Manifestation Toolkit and check out some of the awesome, actionable techniques that are detailed in the book.
The book really boils the toolkit down into three main pillars. First up, visualization. And this is way more than just daydreaming. It's about creating a super vivid mental movie of your goal, engaging all your senses to make it feel totally real right now. Second, we have affirmations. These are positive statements, always in the present tense, that you repeat to literally rewrite the old negative programming in your subconscious. And finally, gratitude. By focusing on everything you already have, you shift your entire energy from a place of needing to a place of having, and that is incredibly magnetic.
Here's a perfect example of a really powerful affirmation straight from the book. See how it's in the present tense? I am attracting, not I hope to attract. It's positive, it's personal, it's empowering. Repeating a statement just like this over and over can really start to chip away at those deep-seated limiting beliefs we were just talking about. And trust me, these three tools are just the beginning. The book goes way deeper, exploring all sorts of creative tools like building vision boards or starting a manifestation art journal. These are really cool, hands-on ways to take a desire that's just an idea in your head and make it feel solid, real, and totally achievable. All right, now for part of this puzzle that you absolutely, positively cannot skip. Your mindset is powerful, the tools are powerful, but without this next piece, honestly, nothing's going to happen. It is time to talk about taking action.
So the book introduces this really important concept called aligned action. This isn't just about being busy or hustling for the sake of it. It's about taking those inspired steps that feel right and are in perfect harmony with your big vision. You can think of it this way. Aligned action is the physical bridge that connects your inner world of intention to your outer world of results.
This slide is so important because it just busts a huge myth about all of this. Manifestation is not a passive sport. It's an active process of co-creation. You don't just sit back and wish for things to happen. You visualize, you align your energy, and then you start building that bridge. You take the inspired step. Taking action is how you signal to the universe that you're serious.
And all of that brings us to our final and maybe most important idea. Because once you really start this process, you realize pretty quickly that it's not some kind of one-and-done deal. It's a whole new way of living your life.
Yeah, let's be super clear on this. Manifestation is not a magic trick. It's not something you do once to get the one thing you want and then you're done. As the book really emphasizes, it's a practice. You know, just like going to the gym or meditating. It's this continuous, daily process of tuning in and aligning your inner and outer worlds. And this final quote from the book just brings it all home perfectly. It's about embracing a lifelong journey of learning and growing. And this means that setbacks, they aren't failures, they're just feedback. And challenges aren't roadblocks. As Sachdev says, they are opportunities for growth. Just adopting that one belief can change everything.
You know, today we've really just scratched the surface of all these foundational ideas. For anyone who's feeling inspired and wants to go deeper, to explore the advanced techniques, and really get the complete roadmap, I honestly can't recommend Kanav Sachdev's book, Manifestation, enough. It's truly the full, comprehensive guide for this entire journey.
So, we'll leave you with this one thought. We've seen how your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions all come together to shape your reality. The only question left is, what reality are you going to start creating today?